There we go. Everything should be good now. Let me know if you guys have any issues. But good to have you guys here. Welcome to the live trading room. We're going to have a great session today as we go over Friday's trading environment, see what's going on in the markets. And I've got some exciting new things to show you as far as what's been going on with the website in the background for the past week. It has been a very jam-packed week of trading, of tools, of creating the things that you guys have ultimately reached out on and wanted to see to make your lives easier with trading. And I think through all of just, wanting to make sure that you guys have the best tools to help you understand the price charts, but do so in a smart way, right? We don't want to overcomplicate trading. We don't want to spend hours and hours and hours going over the charts. So, what are some tools that we can use to help us simplify our routine, simplify our process while still learning the entire time? So, I'm excited to share with you some of those products as we go through today's session. But good to have everyone here. Before we start, I just want to see if anyone took our crude oil trade yesterday. Let me bring that one up, but we did take this oil long trade on the 20-minute time frame yesterday. So I wanted to grab a screenshot of that for you guys when we were rallying higher. Great trade here, implementing the simple 5-step process that we do each and every day to find trades. Number one, finding a very strong pivot point or reaction. Two, qualifying the strength of it. So like this move down has a strong move away. What is that pointing to? Control and breakout pivot to the left. And once we break those areas, we tend to have some nice long running moves. So not sure if anyone grabbed that. It was a breakout trade, but it ended up having a pretty good run to the upside. So hopefully you guys are seeing these pictures more and more. If not, a great tool to start seeing that is going to be the daily future scan, right? So I've gotten my email that I received this morning, and I'll bring it over here. I'll bring my inbox over actually for you guys, is seeing the different alerts. This is going to be a new tool for you guys where it's able to find these what we call sweet spots created on the price chart. So this area, when you go through that 5-step process of the pivot, the control and breakout pivot, that gives us the nice long running move. That's called a sweet spot. And now, over the past couple of days, what we've done is created alerts where all you have to do is simply put in the ticker of what you look at. For example, I had some alerts trigger last night, and then we had a crude oil this morning that we'll take a look at first, but they'll let you know when a sweet spot is created as well as when price is entering one. So when a new sweet spot is created, pretty much you're getting this picture before the move happens, which can allow you to take advantage of that move if you're more of a momentum type trader. And just out of curiosity, for those of us who are in the room, how many of us do momentum trading? I feel like it's not as popular as it used to be, or tend to have more zone traders, what it seems like nowadays, but anyone typically stick with momentum trades or incorporate them into their trading? Momentum meaning like breakout trades, jumping in as the move is happening. Anyone do that, or are we pretty much zone traders? Any feedback there? And Deb says zone. Yeah, so really two styles to every trade. There's zone trades where we wait for price to come to, say, a zone. You may have a different way of identifying it, like a rally-based rally, drop-based rally. We all know that terminology, or two-candle flip, double-sided breakout. Yeah, a lot of zone traders. That's kind of what I figured. Very interesting, and that's actually good for me to know as well. Liz does eat nice. I like it. Depends on the day. Oh, I like that. Good answer, Brian. Yeah, that's a good point too, right? Sometimes the markets are choppier, right? Taking breakout trades can be elevated risk depending on um, product we're trading, depending on the time of day, absolutely. So not for everyone, but that's where when you are setting up these alerts, what you can do is you can set up both and then monitor them, right? You can set up identify when those sweet spot areas are created. So in other words, get in early on a breakout trade, or get in when price returns to a sweet spot. So that's going to be a new tool that's on the website. We'll take a look at crude oil first, since this is going to be one that just sent me an email about, looks like 20 minutes ago. Demands on, yeah. I figured. So that was yesterday's trade. Just wanted to share that with you guys. And then let's go over to the charts for a moment. So I'm going to bring up the charts. And so there was our trade there. Looking at where we're at today, now we want to reassess, right? So I'm going to clear off my chart, start over. And if I want to get a feel for what's going on for today, there's a couple different ways I could do that, right? I can start on daily, try to get a feel for what's going on with the high time frame trend, where prices, things like that. So, I can see we've been in a pretty good downtrend on oil and haven't really been slowing down much. So maybe looking for a short trade, being aware of what we're coming into to the left though. Let's see. Hey, Paul, trading platform is going to be Thinkorswim through Charles Schwab. Yeah, I like Thinkorswim. Some people do TradeStation. Yeah, I feel like you're either one or the other. You're either a TradeStation person or maybe a TradingView or Thinkorswim. All of them got their pros and cons. So we're coming down. If you're not sure and you have a pre-market routine that's a little fuzzy, you're not sure where to start, maybe like I see a lot of students, we bring up a big watch list, or maybe it's small and we kind of just scan through them, but we don't really know what to look for. A good starting point is going to be your daily futures picks or daily stock picks. There's also daily Forex picks, but that's where each day now at 8 a.m. Eastern on the dot, you're going to get an email for one or the other, and it's going to give you the top 10 setups for that day, really depending on the market conditions too, because some days there may not be 10 setups. Sometimes there's only 9, sometimes there's 8, but on good days, we will have a total of 10 setups. Those setups are rated from 1 to 100 and get a point for each odds enhancer that it has. So there's a lot of back end that goes into coding these, and the higher the score, the better the trade opportunity is. So here's the daily stock picks, for example, if you're a stock trader. Anyone do stock trading here? On the live trading room, we primarily focus on futures and Forex. Any stock traders? Okay, good amount there. Dave, Patrick does. Bruce's futures, yeah. So if you do stock picks, then you can see here's the picks for today. Apple is saying that's going to be the number one for today as far as looking to go short, which is interesting. And then we've got all the other ones on the list. So we could take a look at these, right? And then all you do is whether you're doing stocks, here's where I think most of us fall into is futures. You've got your top 10 futures products, and all of these are liquid, highly traded products. Is go down the list, you can click view all charts, and this can give us a good starting point for today, right? So now I'm going to take a look at the picks and see which ones are on it, where the sweet spots are, which is just what I had showed you on crude oil with that trade that we took here. This was an example of a sweet spot, but now the program is going to do it for you. So let's go through the list, and let's see, let me come back in the chat. I saw Dave before mention gold. I just want to see if gold is on the list. I don't know if I saw it today. So not on one of the top picks, and that can be an odds enhancer too, right? Is saying, I like to trade gold every single day. Well, is it on your top trades? Then you can look to see where the sweet spot is. So a couple new enhancements here on the future scan is now you'll notice if you already signed up for it, if you zoom in, the lines, we were able to get them, they extended all the way to the left before, but now we're able to get it to where it's isolating that entire sweet spot area. And if you go back, you're also going to get a lot more candlesticks and price action. And if you want, if you click on the enlarge button, it's going to give you a lot more data. So here we're looking at the Japanese yen chart, and you can see you can go back quite a ways if needed, which is a great tool as well. So basically what this is telling us is, from a big picture overview, this is the number one pick, Japanese yen, so one that we want to look at. It got a score of 77. As far as which trades are pulled here, the lowest score is going to be a 45, actually. Some people say, well, it got a 70. Is that good? And it actually is pretty good, right? If it's coming up on the list, it's going to be a good setup. It's just the ones at the top, the ones that got 77, for example, are going to be better than, say, the ones that are down here. So let's start at the top, Japanese yen. You can see when the scan was done. It was run at 9:11 a.m. Eastern, and this is a new tool as well for you guys where you'll get that email at 10 a.m. Eastern each day. Right, so 5 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. Eastern, or sorry, 9 a.m. Eastern. Nope, sorry, 8 a.m. Eastern is when the email comes out. So 5 a.m. my time, you'll get that each day. But then when you come in, of course, you may not look at it at 8 a.m. Eastern each day. So what you can do is now go over, let me grab my here. So this was one that I brought up at 8 a.m. Eastern. What you can do now is if you click run scan now, it's gonna refresh the picks and give you the newer setups, right? So before Japanese yen was number one, now it's actually putting Dow at number one as the best setup. So that might tell me, okay, Japanese yen is good. Maybe some things have changed, but I'll want to take a look at the Dow as well. So again, let's start with Japanese yen. This one was number one before. It's identifying a long trade. Here's our sweet spot. You identify it from basically between the two arrows is the simplest way. So from here to here, that's the sweet spot. And it calculates, it is able to understand that this is a very strong buying area. We've broken above it here, which indicates that now the buyers are starting to push price up. So again, if you do momentum trading, sometimes you can get in like on a breakout right here. Those are, of course, elevated risk. Or what you can do is wait for price to come back into one of the zones it identifies. The zones are going to be marked in the solid lines. So for a bullish zone, we've got a couple options. And you can bring in your other tools as well to identify which zone to take. Like we've got this 2-candle flip. What might be the reason we'd want to pass on, say, this upper 2-candle flip zone? We've got this one, we've got this doji, and then it's also identifying this doji towards the bottom. What might be a reason why we would pass on this 2-candle flip zone here? Any thoughts? Yep, one of the tools that we look for. Nice job, Greg and Deb. Yep. The breakout was very weak, right? It came up, it broke, and then it went sideways and fell. Those ones typically are not the best zones, and those have increased odds of actually getting broken. So that would take me down here to this doji or this one. From here, what you could do is say, this is Japanese yen 1 hour. I'm going to come over there, 6J. And let's see, 1 hour chart. Zoom in. And you can see it's the exact same picture, right? So here's the scan, right? Here's where we're at current price inside that 2-candle flip, which is where we're at now. So you're getting pretty much live data. It may be off by a couple seconds, but I was able to get you guys pretty close to real time here. So again, once we broke those highs, that activated this sweet spot area. And then ultimately you can decide, okay, which zone do I want to take based on our analysis? The ones that it's pointing out are this zone and this one down here. bring in your other tools as well. I know a lot of us look at different things. So just kind of mapping this out, I can see here we had a lot of resistance coming in, and we've briefly wicked through that, just barely, but not very, very strong. When we have a weak breakout, where does price typically return to? And you'll notice if I look left, we're really not taking out this zone over here. It looks like everything is kind of touching the spacing area. But if we start having weaker breakouts, there we go. Price typically comes back to the origin of the whole move. So even this doji, I'm going to pass on that one for now. I'm going to really look at the origin, which would be down here. We've got a 2 candle flip here. And now to just consolidate and clean up the information, I'm going to go up to let's do a 4-hour and see if we can find a good looking 2 candle flip zone. So weak breakout, price is likely going to come back to the origin. That would be here. We have a wick over wick reversal. I'm going to try to make that smaller. So let's come down to let's try 2-hour. There we go. We've got a 2 candle flip here, also 2 candle flip here. But again, because of that weak breakout, I'm going to choose the lower zone, which is going to be this one down here. Has been tested already. Price did come back down into it, but we got a good reaction off of it. So if I'm looking at this picture and I'm interested in taking that daily pick, this zone here, is this going to be a long running trade or a short-term trade? Yeah, probably more short-term. It looks like the trend may still be down. This zone's been tested once already and got a decent reaction, but really didn't break anything to the left. If I'm looking at all these touches, that's going to tell us that this is really a controlling breakout pivot here. So more of a short term, right? So bring in your own analysis with these picks. And yeah, so that's where the pick would. Now, what I would do as well is look at everything else it's saying. So given the other information here, I can see that's a long trade. We're on a 1-hour. Notice that the trend is range bound. What I would want to see is that we are in an uptrend, right? A range bound trade looking to go long. It's going to be okay, but what we're wanting to see is really incorporating the trade type with the trend. So that's another odds enhancer too, where maybe you just do trend trades. Well, hey, then I would come over to the Russell short downtrend. Maybe this one is more of my style if I'm looking for trend trades. You can see a lot of range bound trades. Here's Swiss franc. This might be a good one to look at. See, we're more in an uptrend and we can see the strength of this setup. So just giving you some of those tools that you can take to analyze these. Natural gas uptrend, Mexican peso uptrend. So all these kind of nuances where it's telling you, hey, this is an uptrend. Here's your sweet spot. It's giving you all the tools to identify these trades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this trade, but understanding we're range bound. This was a weak breakout. The trend really looks to be more down if I just zoom out. So this trade is going to be more elevated risk, right? So I'll set up this trade, probably just a 1-to-1 though. So if you're looking for longer running trades, this wouldn't be the trade that I would pick until we break another controlling breakout pivot. So let's start with this one. 0.0062 185. Stop price 0.006214, and we'll send that. Whoa, not 100, just one. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. I was looking at the buying power effect, like that's a bit much. Okay, send that out there, good to go. Right, so what the picks do is it gives you a much easier way to kind of scan, and you can even scan through the top 10, right? So this one is a range bound long, but let's set up let's do gold. What I'll do for that one, actually, what I'm gonna do is spot check it with the scanner, which is gonna be one of the other tools to see what the scanner says. The scanner is going to give you more information, and you can input any product here, uh, any time frame on the list, long or short. So I'm going to input it on here and just give you guys that big picture overview of what's going on with the product. And you can input anything that you want here. It gives you stocks, it gives you ETFs, it gives you even crypto, gives you a lot of things here. So pretty much the whole database you're going to see able to be brought up on this list. If you're looking at SpaceX, it's bringing that up as well. It could give you an analysis on that. So this is a nice tool if you're looking for just kind of a quick, easy, hey, what's going on with this product? Where's the sweet spots? Things like that. Hey, Mark, great question. Are you basing the trend on a lower time frame for these picks? Yeah, so it's based on and how it's calculating it. I'll show it to you on the scanner. This will tell you what the trend is. I've given you some more detail, but it's basically the time frame that you're on. It's looking at that time frame trend. So on Japanese yen, we're looking at a 1 hour chart. It's telling us that we're in a 1 hour range bound trend. Right, so just kind of looking at this information. Yeah, versus if we're looking at a 5 minute chart, that's a 5 minute trend. And then kind of one of the next phases that we'll roll out is being able to kind of have those daily picks, but also do more for swing trading. So that's going to be coming out. But yeah, for these ones, the time frame is going to correlate with the trend that you're looking at. Great question. So if I come here and I type in, so we're looking at Japanese yen, I'll just do 6J. We're looking at the long trade. We are on let's do a 2 hour because that's where we found our zone. 2 hour. And this was really cool. It took a lot of work, but if you're signed up for some of these tools, I want you to notice the time difference of what it took to run these scans before versus now. I click run, it's going to give you the analysis almost instantly. And I think up until now, it took maybe 45 seconds. I got it down to like 20 seconds to just generate the scan. Yeah, it's tremendously faster, right? So that's a huge improvement as well. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I don't want you guys spending too much time with your analysis, but okay, I'm looking Japanese yen long on a 2 hour. It says watch it, medium confidence. It gives the score here. The long is shaping up, count. So see here, it's noting that range bound is more because we're in a counter trend environment. Wait for the trigger before committing, gives you an analysis here. Treat this as a limited scalp, and that's what Greg and Deb mentioned in the chat. So this can even confirm your analysis and help you decide, hey, am I right on my analysis or not? When Mark asked about trend, I just gave you a little description here that says kind of how we decide trend. It incorporates pivot points, highs and lows, the time frame you're on, and how that might be different than the sweet spot, right? So trend is a bigger picture definition or direction, while the sweet spot is a specific pullback entry. A valid counter trend sweet spot can appear after an opposing controlling breakout pivot breaks. That's why a downtrend can still show a long sweet spot and vice versa. It gives you some details if you're super analytical about the pivot points that we're looking at, the controlling breakout pivots, the sweet spots, all that's here. A nice diagram to help you visualize where the sweet spot is and the pivot points. And coming down, a new tool is the targets here. That's been added. So you can see 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 targets. Yeah, and then you can add it to your journal down at the bottom. All right, yep, markets are open. So we've got that trade set up. The other thing I want to show you is this bar at the top. So up until now, it's been one-sided as far as choosing long or choosing a short, and then it runs the scan. Now what you're able to do with the new Pro Scanner, if you click that, you'll be able to map out both the long and the short on one screen. So now I'm going to do it, and let's do it for, I don't want to keep bypassing gold. I know it's not on our list, but let's do gold. Let's see both. And I think, let me see, Dave mentioned 10-minute time frame. So I'm going to say gold, both 10-minute, and let's see what this new scanner comes up with. So it's going to bring up very quickly. That's not good. Both sides are F. So we'll see why that is here shortly. And you can see almost instantly it gives you the analysis here, but it says no clean edge either way on the 10-minute. Both sides are waiting on structure. It's saying the long is a counter trend scalp. Okay, right, because gold's been coming down, so I can come over to the chart. All right, that makes sense. The short, longer running with trend continuation. Long score is a 28, short score is a 10. So you can see if we're looking for a minimum of 45, neither of these buy or sell setups is really getting a great score. Japanese yen got a little bit better score here, but it is marking a sweet spot on gold on the 10-minute. It's showing 40.41 to 39.98. So that would be the area that I would look if I'm going to look to trade gold. And I'm not sure what Dave took for the entry. Did you go long, Dave? Let me see. Just going back to your comment. I don't know if you mentioned it. Okay, and that's where you pull this in and just see what sweet spot comes up, right? So it's pulling up the long, it's scoring it, but even the long, right, is only getting a 28. It's really saying to skip both of them. But if you are going to choose one, I would probably choose the long, just based upon that sweet spot, and then choosing a zone in this area. So let's do this. Let's come over to gold 10-minute. We'll isolate that sweet spot, GC, and let me clear this off. Let me make sure I'm getting the sweet spot right here. So it's going from here to here. So to the lowest point, just zooming out to see. Okay, so it's that pivot over here on the 10-minute. Oh, I'm at 2-hour, that's why. Let's go back down to a 10-minute. And the sweet spot that it's pulling is going to be from here to here. So let's do that. Here's our sweet spot. Looking for a long trade when price pulls back to this area. Again, it's doing all the coding and analytics on the back end, but saying this is a strong area where the buyers are. And now there's a lot of tiny candles here. I'm going to go up in time frame, consolidate this a bit to look for my zone, what seems the strongest in this area. And all right, here we go. So we've got a 2-candle flip. We've got a doji. I'm seeing this really strong break here that broke some of these pivot highs to the left. And it looks like that red candle was coming down into that 2-candle flip. So we've got a 2-candle flip at the origin. It breaks, pulls back, and then here was the start of this big move to the upside. So if I'm going to trade micro gold, this would be my 1-hour zone. And you can see that I can get to this as an answer so much faster by just putting it through our scanner. So I'm going to set this one up. Buy custom with stop. Our entry is going to be 40.21.8. Stop price 39.98.3 for that 2-candle flip zone. I'm not sure why it's putting 100 for everything now. That's interesting. Way too much. And send that out there. And then just to calculate the risk on that. So for micro gold, 40.21.8 minus 39.98.3, 23.5 points What is the point value on micro gold? Thank you, Terry. Times 10. So that's a $235 zone. If that works for you, you can do that. If you want to make it smaller, you could bring it down to the close of the two candle flip. You could put a 50% entry on the zone. If you want to cut it in half, sometimes that works as well. And then what we like to do in the live trading room is go from the swing low to the high. And if that zone lines up with a 75% retracement, that's an odds enhancer that that's going to be a zone in a good location. So what I'm going to do is put on 0.75. It just tells us that price is coming deeper into that swing. And notice where the line came up, pretty much exactly where the green candle closed. So that's a nice odds enhancer as well. So again, bring in your other analysis. If you see other things, of course, you can do that. Trend to the upside. You can see where when it scored that trade, it wasn't giving it the best score on the long. Fresh gold 2-hour. Yeah, so the long really didn't even get a good score. It's getting an F, and what it's visualizing is that it's going against this higher time frame downtrend. Right, so it's picking the strongest zones, but it's also saying, hey, here's a strong zone, but it's still scoring an F. I mean, that's helpful, right? That if we're setting up a trade long and we realize we're in a counter trend environment, then this may be one that's elevated risk. But then it's also saying, let's see why the short trade is also getting an F. Longer running with trend continuation. And then as you come down below the chart, you'll notice that's going to give you side-by-side analysis on the long versus the short. So it's great giving it a both of them an F, right? So both of them are not good, but you can see why. It looks like the short is getting a little bit higher of a score. That the setup got a 63. Counter trend. Yeah, so both of them are not great. It gives you your full analysis there. So it's actually mapping out this larger kind of higher time frame trend sweet spot, right? So you wouldn't trade this, but it does say that we're coming up into this zone here. So I'll set this one up as well. It's mapping out this two candle flip zone here. Let's see what that looks like on the 2-hour. And I'll set up that one as well. So that way we're testing out both trades on the tracker. If you haven't used the tracker before, try them out and use the zones, see how they work. But we've been getting some great feedback lately. So the zone that it's picking is this one here. Risk on that zone is going to be 4114.9 minus 4088. Whoops. 4114.9 minus, and what I'll do to make this zone smaller just off the bat is bring this up to here, the close of the candle. 3114.9 minus 4093.4 times 10, that's going to be a $215 zone, and I'll set up that one as well. So let's do this one. Sell custom with stop. And keep in mind, both of these trades are getting Fs, right? So if that is also part of your trade plan to only take like C scoring trades or B, or I don't know, maybe an A trade, then this of course would not be the type of trade for you. But it's helping you learn, it's helping you see which trades are better than others. And it's a great kind of spot checking tool to see how you're doing. Are you on the right side of the trade? And just having something else in your belt before hitting send on a trade and taking it is seeing what these tools are telling you. So I'm going to send that out there, and we're good to go for those picks on gold. Let's see what else I want to show you. So I did show you, right, the trade alerts. We've got this one here just came in. So crude oil entered the short sweet spot. So then I would click view the chart. This is my trade alert telling me that I'm in one of those areas. Bring up the chart. And let's see. This one just triggered. I'm going to, let me refresh. I'm sure the lines aren't coming on here, but it says we're inside that short sweet spot. Let me come over to these. Where are the lines? Maybe it's not a sweet spot anymore. 51, that does meet it. Let me come over to the scanner instead and see what that says. In that email, I'm just checking, it said it was a 5-minute short. So I'm gonna go to crude oil, short, 5 minutes. Yeah, it's not picking up anything. So maybe that was not one that's coming up anymore. Otherwise, the lines would be here. So it's actually reading that as a bad setup. So I think that one was, oh wait, that was from a little while ago. Never mind. So that's not no longer a zone. That's why I was looking at the wrong time. So, and then when you do get your trade alerts coming in, I just want to show you that, how you can customize it to certain products. You can create a watch list. So really, you can type in any symbol here, stocks, futures. Let's say I like to look at, some of us look at stocks. Let's say I'm looking at, let's do this. Maybe SpaceX is in here yet. Let's do Tesla. You can pick the time frame that you're looking for. So when a sweet spot is created on a 15-minute chart, and let's say a 4-hour, I'm going to get an alert and it's going to be sent to my email. You can select the alert based upon when the sweet spot was created. So that's, again, more of getting in on that momentum. Or if you just want to see when price comes back to these areas, you can do that as well. Select the direction that you trade in. Maybe you're only looking for long trades on Tesla. You could do that. And then for the alerts, this tells you how often you want to receive the alerts. Every time it fires, if it starts getting a bit too much, you can say at most once per day or once per sweet spot, and then you can save it to your list. Those end up coming down here, and then once they do trigger, you'll click on the chart to see what the setup is. So here was one on crude oil for a long trade, and then you can come back and see, okay, here's where it was saying to go long. It's coming back down. And then this would be one that we could look at for today's session, right? So this is a bullish sweet spot. It's got a pretty good score, crude oil. Let's, it's picking up these two zones. We're coming down to that lower one, so we might be able to set that one up. Or, let me see, let's run this one through the Pro scanner. I'm gonna do, yeah, crude oil, both, 5-minute. And let's see, so what's the issue with the long? Limited counter trend scalp. Right, so a lot of these, what we're seeing in the markets is that we're really in between two trends. We may be in a lower time frame uptrend, but higher time frame is more downtrend. So it's saying, hey, the buyers are strong here, but we're coming into something on the other side. So it's saying neither side has really a clear broken control and breakout pivot. Stand aside until the structure resolves. So again, all this is pretty good stuff. Let me come back over here and see what else I want to reference for you guys. Let's see, so out over that, if you're a member, if you've registered for anything at Kait Trades, besides the courses, I think all of your things are going to be drop-down menus here. So just click on the item and then I'll take you to the product that you're looking at. Let me see. So trade alerts is here. The Pro scanner is here. And just to let you guys know, if you are registered for the live trade scanner, just real quickly in the chat, how many of us are signed up for the trade scanner? think a couple of us are the trade scanner. Yeah, we've got a good group here that's using the scanner. If you're signed up for the live trade scanner, you'll automatically get enrolled into the pro scanner. So what I would do is you can use both. Yeah, we've got a good group for the scanners. You'll automatically get access to the pro scanner, right? So as we continue to make enhancements, kind of like why when you have an iPhone and you get the newest iPhone, sometimes you can get kind of upgraded into the newer one. So all of you will have access to this one. And I would say you can just use this one. Or if you, you bet, if you don't want to look at both sides, maybe you're someone who only looks at long trades or short trades, then you could just use the normal scanner. But if you want to see really both sides graded, then that's where you would want to come to the pro scanner. So I would recommend that. I'm looking for a setup that just has anything that's not really a bad score. Anyone have any recommendations for, let's see, 1 minute, anything? Okay, so NASDAQ has a C for a short. Let's see what that is. It's showing these. Okay, so this one's already triggered. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so what Greg mentioned here is that it's going to help provide targets. Yep, so this one here on NASDAQ, for example, it's only showing the short trade because that's all that's really going on here. But if you are in a more range bound, you will get both sides exactly. Yep, so this one is, let's see, NASDAQ 1 minute short. That one we can see here was the sweet spot and it came back to that doji zone. So that one's underway already. Let me see one that does have both on the chart because this one doesn't. Here we go. So this is a good example. So NASDAQ, I went to both up to a 2-hour time frame. And let's see. So it's saying what we're coming into on the NASDAQ is strong on the 2-hour. It's saying this area over here is a strong sweet spot to the left. And then it's also identifying this as a sweet spot here. So it's giving you really two areas that we could look to trade, right? We can take the short trade over here. We've got this nice doji zone. That might be one I would look to set up short. But then it's also saying, hey, be careful of what we're coming into. And it looks like the long sweet spot, if I had that one already mapped out, that's what price is coming into now over on the right-hand side on the 2 hours, that basing area. So we've got 2 areas mapped out, which to Greg's point is going to be able to give you both sides. So let's see, it's saying favor the short. The long is at best a scalp, which is interesting. So what this is telling us is, hey, the short traders are more current. If they do, if you have the long and the short, it should give you one that's really stronger. So notice how the long setup is grayed out. You can still see the analysis, but what it's saying is the long setup got an F, stand aside. Let's favor the short setup, and then you can compare and contrast to see the scoring, the pivot points, things like that. So the strong control and breakout pivot is broken and price is working the sweet spot. Your double-sided breakout is live, which would be double-sided breakout. This one here, let's find that double-sided breakout. So we could come over to NASDAQ and look for the short trade, right? So it's ultimately going to choose which one is the better one if there is a big difference, and gives you reasons for everything. So let's look at the short sweet spot. That's the one that's getting the primary trend trade and saying the long step aside. So for the short, it's really this whole area on a 2-hour. Let's come over to NASDAQ and then Q. 2-hour time frame. The sweet spot that it's identifying that's been broken is this area here. And then you choose the strongest zone inside that area. So coming back to, let me close out of that. I've got a lot of tabs open. So I like this doji zone. That looks like it's right in the middle. Had a strong move down. hasn't been tested yet. So I like that one. This one, you can see there's a couple zones that are forming in this area. But as far as just a fresh zone in the right location, I do like that one. So that's going to be this doji zone right here. And this is the one that had a strong move down. The move down took out these pivots to the left. So let's see. I know NASDAQ can be a little bit pricier. That's a 2-hour zone. You can then come down to a 1 hour, 30-minute, your normal routine. Let's see, you've got doji candle there. I just want to make this a bit smaller if possible. And then you could even go to your scanner, right, and input, a lower time frame and just see what it says about your zone and the strength from it. So I'm going to use this 2-candle flip here. I like that it had this move down that took out all of this support to the left, took out these pivot points. As far as risk is concerned, we're looking at 29,894.5 minus 29,704.25, 190 points. What's the point value on the micro NASDAQ? $2 per point. NASDAQ's one of those products, tends to be a little bit more expensive anyways, so I'm not too surprised this is a $380 zone. But what you could do is 50% entry, 0.5. That's going to cut the zone in half, which would bring us back down to that $190 mark. Nice job, Terry Elon. All right, so I'll set this one up as well. Oh, nice job, Dan. Zone lines up with 75. Where are you pulling from? From here to here? Be my guess. Oh, I don't think you can draw on these types of sessions. Let me guess. So Dan mentioned looking for a 75% retracement. You're just going from swing to swing. And that's perfect, right? See how this line is 75%? That's telling us that this zone is closer to the origin. It's a deeper entry, and that lines up with what we look for. We also look for 50% retracements. Usually that's from the full swing. So if I pull from here to here, and I do a 0.5, that's this blue line. See how there's now, yeah. Notice how there's confluence with the 50% from the full swing and 75% from this recent move down. When you have confluence like that, that's an odds enhancer. So I don't know if any of you guys use the Fibonacci retracements or the pullback percentages, but it's a nice tool to just kind of build your confidence with those trades. So I've got that set up on a 30-minute. If you want to run it through the scanner one more time, it doesn't take too much time to do that. I'm going to do NASDAQ, 30-minute. I'll have it scan both sides while we're here. Now it's giving it an F on the lower time frame. But you can see it's still choosing. So it shows this doji. Looks like that one has already been tested here. You can see we came back up to that doji, and now we're getting the move down. So I'm just choosing to use that upper 2-candle flip here, closer to the origin. But you can see how it chose the zone within the sweet spot. Technically, that zone is working right now. Any questions so far on the markets, the trades, the new Pro scanner, or the alerts, anything like that? Questions? And you guys have been emailing me feedback and testing everything, which I appreciate. So again, those kind of new enhancements are when you come over to your futures picks that you can now run your scan anytime. You can click scan now and see what's the most current setup on the list. And it's going to filter through the top 26 futures products. It's going to give you those sweet spots by score. Kind of a little hack here is looking for ones that correlate. Like corn, for example, it's looking to go long in an uptrend. That would be one I would want to take because it's got a good score. It's on our list. It's a trade with the trend. So let's come over to corn now, and that was on a 1-hour time frame. So you can see how many charts I'm getting done, right? You can go through these pretty quickly when you know what you're looking for. Let's see, 1 hour time frame. So it's looking for a long trade somewhere in this area. It's saying that that is the sweet spot from here to here. So what would be the strongest zone in this area? Well, I can see we've got a 2 candle flip down here. Let's see what else. Just looking at what's to the left a bit, I can see we had a pretty big wick there, rejection. Came down, big move down. Looks like there might have been a controlling breakout pivot here. And we broke it on this move up. So maybe something in here, but I like the 2 candle flip. Let me go up to a 2 hour and just see if that consolidates it a bit. Here we go. This is one of the setups that I like, the double-sided breakout. We've got a candle, and then the next candle trades below and above that candle. So then my zone within the sweet spot would be this here. Box around it. And then set up that trade. So we're looking at 407.5 to 404. Who knows the point value of corn? Yeah, I knew Randy would know it. Corn, if you need a little hack, think or swim, you can just click this drop down. Corn, you can see it's $12.50 per tick. Each tick is 25 cents, so each point is $50. So looking at the zone, 407.5 minus, looks like that low is at 404. 3.5 at $50 per point. Not too bad for a zone on corn. It's going to be a $175 zone. And I'll set that one up by custom with stop. So you can see by getting the scanner, or if you are signed up for the picks, you get answers right away, which can reduce the time that you spend doing your analysis in the morning. So if you don't have a solid pre-market routine and you find yourself just scanning and filtering and going round and round in circles, then these tools are a great way to reduce that time doing analysis and scanning and filtering because it does all that for you. Nice, 75%. Let me do that. So from swing low to swing high, 75%. And I got to put my lines the right way from here to here. Yeah, beautiful. See, 75%, nice deep pull back. I like that. At the origin, how is trend in this case? Today's one of those days where we're getting these moves up, but now I'm curious, what is it saying on trend? Where'd it go? Let me refresh that. Corn long, oh, that's right, long up. Okay, so it does say we're in a new uptrend. Okay, so by breaking these pivot points, it's showing that we're now in a new uptrend on this 1 hour time frame, which is at least a better kind of setup than if it was saying range bound or downtrend. It is seen that we have started to break some pretty strong pivot points. So more in an uptrend at this point. Yeah, daily might be more downtrend if you zoom back. But as far as what's going on in real time, we are breaking these pivots, strong move up through them. So it's looking for an opportunity to come along to take this next push to the upside. I would just say be careful of what we're coming into. That's where you can come over to your pro scanner. I would come over here. Numbers. Pro scanner. Horn. Both. What time frame am I on? I'm at 2 hour. Let's double check that. Comes up really quickly. So yeah, it looks like it's price spotting. Yeah, for the long limited counter trend scalp. Yeah, today's markets are more counter trend, a little bit more mixed signals. So we have our long trade down here, but it does show that we're coming into a short sweet spot. Both of them are not getting great scores. The short is actually getting the better one from this sweet spot. I got a 67. But again, you can see taking F trades, not a great approach. And it seems like as we're going through this, this is a lot of products today, right? A lot of them are getting Fs. We're kind of having to hunt for the ones that are better scores. And that's just because a lot of what we're seeing today is we're getting these moves up, but the trend is down. So it's saying, hey, we're kind of stuck between two sweet spots. It's having a hard time deciding which one to take when both are really elevated risk. See 1 hour, sure. See 1 hour scan. There we go. Yeah, so the 1 hour has it. 1 hour found the long is as we go down in time frame, it's getting more detail and finding the lower time frame trend. Thank you, Dan. But then you come up to a 2 hour. Now it's going to start giving you a little bit bigger picture information. It's going to start seeing the higher time frame down move. Like if I come up to a daily, notice how the daily is really saying the move down is what's in control and the larger sweet spots up here. So as you go down in time frame, right, you're going to start getting smaller and smaller trends. On a 6 hour, it's identifying this downtrend, and here's a zone that's holding right now. That looks like a 75% retracement there. And then as you keep going down, right, so if you do like the lower time frames, you're going to get more setups, but they may start being counter trend, right? So this would be another short-term trade, and it's going to give you the reasons why here. Let's see. Long score takes it, long as with the trend. And again, as Mark mentioned before, how is it assessing trend? It's based on this time frame. So it's seeing an hour long trade potential. But if you are more of a higher time frame trader, then you're going to want to stick to your 4 hours, 6 hour, 8 hour, because then we're seeing what we're coming into, which is all this to the left, right? And that makes sense because this is the move down that took out this pivot. We came back into this 2 candle flip here. I'm curious where the 75% would be on the short setup if we did come back closer to the origin. What I'm going to do is this. Wick is pointing to this area. We may have a short trade somewhere in here if we get another pop up. So I want to see what that looks like. I'm going to come up to a 6 hour. So 75% retracement would be here. You can see that this is starting to turn into what looks like will end up being a zone. I'm going to go up to an 8 hour. Let's see. I've got an activated doji there, so I'm going to look to set up corn for the short as well with this doji. And what I would encourage is set these both up in a sim account and watch them and see what happens, right? Understand your trading style. Are you more of a low time frame day trader, more fast paced? Then maybe the long trade is something you would consider. But if you do want to see kind of what we're coming into, which I think would be most of us, then we got to start zooming out and using these tools to say, hey, what am I running into? And now you can start to see the trend is shifting, right? So if I come up to weekly, now it's mapping out a weekly sweet spot. And this is good for swing traders, right? Come over to the scanner and find your weekly and monthly sweet spots. This is a new addition, is the weekly and monthly. Like, look at that. Here's a sweet spot, or sorry, here's one here. Activated 2 candle flip, double set of breakout there. So a lot of great tools that you can really customize and make your own. For that doji zone, so custom with stop. I'm going to set this one up. Notice this is more trades than I've probably ever set up in the live trading room because these tools are giving us a nice, quicker approach to scanning. 416.75. Looks like 422. Just gonna do 422.25 and send that one out there as well. All right, exciting stuff. Again, any questions on what we've covered today? So just to reiterate all of the tools that you guys have access to is number one is the future scanner. This is a great way if you just want the top setups and you don't want to scan yourself, you just want to choose the best trades, then this is going to help you choose the highest scoring setups for the day. New addition is that you can choose to run the scan throughout the trading day, so you're seeing the most up-to-date setups. And then it gives you the sweet spot. You've got a lot more data now. You can zoom in, see where that sweet spot is. Here's a trade that's working short on the Dow. We had a sweet spot to the downside. It found this double-sided breakout, downtrend, and that trade is currently working. Let's see, feeder cattle. Here was a great one. Sweet spot. So you would have been notified when that sweet spot was created. Or if you get the alerts, then what you would have been told is when we're coming up into that sweet spot, you would get an alert to your email saying, hey, we're in this, bring up the chart and look for where the zone is. And then you could have been in that trade there. So again, I love this new tool, just seeing all of these products and also seeing them work, right, is pretty cool. New Zealand dollars working, sweet spot short, 2 candle flip zone. We're kind of hovering right there, but you can see it's getting a reaction off that. Swiss franc, sweet spot here, pull back into it, move up. We could look to maybe take that again if we come back to that 2 candle flip. Sweet spot on the Mexican peso, pulled back to that 2 candle flip. So time and time again, we can see these zones holding and working. What I got as feedback from several of us was, yeah, I'm seeing these sweet spots, but I'm missing the trades, right? So I get the 8 a.m. Eastern emails, but I go on about my day and then I end up missing some of these trades. So what am I going to do moving forward? All I'm going to do is say, shoot, I missed Mexican peso. This was an awesome uptrend trade. Let me come over to my trade alerts and I'm going to add this one here. So now next time there's a sweet spot that we're inside, I can get into it and not miss it. How cool is that? And I had someone ask, well, why is this different than me just setting up an alert on my chart? Because it takes the analysis out of the picture, right? When we're setting up alerts here, it's because of the analysis that we're doing on the charts to choose our zones. This does the analysis for you and sends you an email when price is inside a sweet spot that it's already qualifying on the back end. So you're getting notified of the picks as they're happening real time. So this is huge, right? So to illustrate again, before if I say Mexican peso, that looks like one that I want to do, I would just check off all the time frames. I want to know when price is pulling back. If I'm just looking for when price is entering a sweet spot, you can just do that one and then look for your opportunity to go long or short. Or if you want to do when a sweet spot is created to see what's going on real time, this would be more momentum trading, then you could do that one as well. I think we had an alert come off. Let me see. And then you would just select both, frequency of how often you want the trades, and then save that to your watch list. So again, what this does takes the analysis that you do out of the picture and allows you to get these alerts in real time. For right now, these alerts will go to your email, so you'll put in your email address here. This should be coming if you want text alerts, which I'm really excited about. This should be in 1 to 2 weeks. So when you sign up, you'll automatically get the email alerts, but then you'll be, if you're signed up now or do you want to get signed up, then you'll be automatically enabled to get the text alerts as well. You just have to kind of authorize that you're good to give your text. You know, there's messaging rates, all that good stuff that you get with other texts, but you get both of them. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, the texts are going to be fun. I'm excited to see how you guys do with that. And again, if you want to do pretty much zero analysis, and that's going to be the daily picks. The trade scanner is if you want to put in your own charts, but the trade alerts here, again, is no analysis, just put in the products that you look at. So going back to Dave before, he looks at gold. Maybe he looks at 1 hour charts and 4 hour charts. I'm going to click those and I'll just say both, alert me of everything, save. Now I can go on about my day. I don't even have to analyze it. I don't have to watch it, wait for the alert to go off, bring it up in your scanner, do another, double check, see what the trend is, all that good stuff. But yeah, I would say least amount of work is going to be the trade alerts. It does everything for you. The daily picks, also no work because it's giving you the zones, and then trade alerts, or sorry, the scanner is if you want to do the analysis yourself. For those of us who have signed up for the regular scanner, which is most of us, you do get re-enrolled in the pro scanner. So that will be probably within the next hour. I'll get you all set up with the pro scanner to try it out. Thanks, Dan. Greg, Deb, Liz. Thanks, Liz. And then I'll share with you where all these specials are on the website. There's that Friday specials page, which has been updated. So I'm going to just go over that with you because this page has been revamped a little bit. Absolutely, you bet. So Friday specials, I'm going to show you the newest specials here. This will go on for the next couple of days until end of day Monday if you do want to take advantage of this. Thanks, Terry. The trade scanner. So for everyone in the room, I mentioned if you're signed up for the scanner, you'll get enrolled in this, but this is going to be for everyone, right? So you'll get the regular trade scanner, which gives you one-sided trades, but then you'll also get that pro scanner so that you can put on both sweet spots at once. And then both of them are going to be the same price as just if you had gotten one scanner or the other. So you'll get both of them, the normal scanner plus the pro scanner. If you want to try them out, you can click these buttons here. But long and short, every time frame, these do stocks, futures, Forex, and unlimited scanning. So scan away whatever charts you look at, any time frames, you'll get both of those for the price of $149. For the daily picks, keeping that pricing that we had from last Friday where it's $99 a month and you get the top 10 picks each day. If you want more of my insight on how to use the tools, different tips and tricks, you can bundle it with coaching, which gives you 3 coaching sessions where I'll walk you through the tools, answer questions. If you need help building a pre-market routine, I'm happy to do that with you guys. And then for those emails, they get sent out every day at 8 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, always at the exact same time. So that's nice too if you want that automation. For the trade alerts, I'm excited about these. I've been getting a lot of emails to my inbox of just seeing these trades being set up. So you pick your chart that you're looking at, long or short, or both. What time frames you typically look at. And again, if you are someone who's just like, I miss all these trades and it seems like everything's just leaving from me and I have no way of getting in, the alert is going to be your best bet, right? Tell the system the charts you look at, put it in for your alert emails. Text will be coming in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then all you got to do is go over to it and you're good to go. And it'll map out your sweet spot for you. Could not be any easier. And then if you want some more information kind of on how this all flows together, you can take a look at the rest of the page. But the top half is going to give you the specials. So just until Monday, both scanners are going to be $149. The picks, $99. If you bundle it with coaching is $249. And then for the next probably month or so, I'm going to keep the trade alerts at $99 a month. I want you guys to let me know how the emails are going. And then as soon as I get the go ahead with the text alerts, you guys are going to start receiving those. So super, super excited. I think my favorite is the text alerts, honestly, just because, as it says here, never miss another trade opportunity. Get an instant email the moment your selected tickers and timeframes hit the sweet spot. Instant moment, exact entry, stop, and targets. Alerts only on the markets that you actually trade, right? So it's not giving you alerts on a bunch of random products. it's giving you alerts on what you input in the system. So again, one last time, go to trade alerts, add symbol. If you want alerts, some of us mentioned stocks before. If you're a stock trader, put in the stock that you're looking at. Let's say Apple. Let's say I'm a high time frame trader, daily chart, but maybe I want to keep an eye on the 1 hour. You would select both of those. Alert me on maybe just when price is entering a sweet spot. That's when the best trades are. Direction, long, short, or both, up to you. Save to your watch list. So now for me, I'm getting alerts on these setups, these time frames. When your trades end up going off, you come over to the history tab and it brings up, here you go, your chart. So it's telling us this was 4 minutes ago. We'll wrap up with this one, S&P sweet spot. We entered a sweet spot, so I would have gotten this email 4 minutes ago at 74.10. So let's see what's going on. Here's that area, and we already have that zone set up on the S&P. So that's going to be today's trade. All right, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Other than that, great job, everyone, following along. Let me know your feedback on the tools as always, but it is based on all of your feedback. So I appreciate you guys working with me and sending me emails, tell me what you want to see, what's working, what would help your trading, and the alerts was a big one. So I'm excited to get you all signed up with the email alerts, and then text messages are coming in the near future. Let's see. Have a great weekend, Liz. Absolutely, Deb. Terry, Aldo, you bet. Any questions, feel free to reach out. And then if you want access to the specials, just come over to the Friday specials page. If you're signed up for the scanner, no need to email me. I will get you guys enrolled in the Pro scanner. Give me an hour. Check back by the end of the hour. So it's 7:18. I'll get you all set up with the Pro scanner so you can try that out and have that in your database. If you sign up through the Friday Specials website and click Get Both Scanners Now, you'll also get access to both scanners right away. You've got the picks there, stocks, futures, and Forex, whichever one you like to look for. And then the trade alerts, the one I'm most excited about. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Aldo, Greg, Mandy. Good to have you guys here as always. Thank you, Bruce, Juan. Thanks for being here. Terry, Demetrios, thanks for coming. Hey, nice job, Erica. I'm excited. You're coming back at a really good time, right? So all of these tools, this is the most advanced, I think, that the website's been, the most tools to help you with your trading, and just you guys being able to customize it to make it your own. So excited for you being here, Erica. If you guys have any questions, feel to reach out. Take a look at the Friday Specials page. The website is katetrades.com. Take a look, and I'll be in touch with you guys shortly. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy. Have a wonderful, relaxing time, and I'll see you guys all again on Monday. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks, Greg, Dave. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.